We're going to start today talking about circles. Circles can be unnecessarily complicated because they involve the use of this Greek letter pi. It has got a funny shape, it's spelt P-I, and it's central to talking about circles. Circles are quite important because sometimes we may need to work out the circumference of a circle, sometimes we may need to work out the area of a circle, sometimes for all sorts of reasons we may need to want to know the, for example, the volume of water in a trough or the volume of water in a tank or a cylinder, and we do need to calculate stuff to do with circles. We're going to change pi, Pi, to pi, P-I-E, which is something that most New Zealanders can relate to. So we've got here a whole lot of pies organised around the edges of a circle. Now, we're doing this today on a sheet of paper, but you could equally well do it outside with those tinfoil pie plates. I've chosen pictures of pies here. Let me show you how it works. So there's pies around the outside and there is pies across the middle. Now the outside is the circumference or the perimeter of the circle. The line across the middle, across the very centre, is the diameter. If we had only to the middle, that would be the radius, but the diameter is the length right across. So counting our number of pies, across the middle there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a little bit. Let's say 10.2 or 10 and a little bit. Around the outside there is, counting there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and a little bit. Now, if you do the maths, if you divide 32 and a little bit by 10 and a little bit, that's the relationship between how wide the circle is and how much the diameter is around the outside. For the kind of work that we are doing in our world, that's absolutely all the information we need. So it could be that you can't be bothered to make up a whole lot of pies, and that's perfectly understandable. There are other ways of doing this, and remember the goal here is to find a simple way of understanding what pi is all about. Now this is the paper clip version. So I've organised the paper clips around the outside. What we're trying to find out is what is the relationship, if you like, between the width of a circle, i.e. the diameter, and the distance around the outside. That's what we need to know for all sorts of reasons. So here's our circle, there's our line across the middle. What we're going to do now is take that away and lay that down there and work out exactly how much longer is the circumference or the perimeter as compared to the diameter. So there is one time. We can now wrap that back and go back a second time to there, and then we can come back a third time back to there, and therefore we've got a little bit left over. So we now have got that same relationship. So we've now laid out, there's our diameter, and now you can see where our circumference is 1, 2, 3 times the length of the diameter plus a little bit left over. Now you could do that more accurately by counting up the number of paper clips. The number of paper clips is a good way of measuring the actual length of both measurements. So I guess the question could be asked at this stage, who cares anyway? Well, the information about circles is relevant in a number of cases. Sometimes we may need to work out the circumference of the circle. Remember that circumference and perimeter are the same thing, and the formula for that is pi. We now know that the circumference of a circle is pi times the diameter. If we want to work out the area of the circle, we know that's pi times the radius, which is half of the diameter, squared. So if the diameter, if the radius was 10, we could say 10 squared times that magical pi, which we now know is as close as we need to be to give us the answer for the area of a circle. If we want to find out the volume of a cylinder, it's about finding out the area of that cylinder multiplied by how tall or how deep that cylinder is. So that's important for all sorts of people. It might be the plumber working out the volume of your water cylinder. It might be the farmer working out how much water is in a tank that he buys. There's all sorts of reasons why you might want to know the volume of a cylinder.